Okay, now slow down, because a lot of you will have seen the title and either thought that it was clickbait, or you're already furiously writing something in the comments section. But bear with me, let me explain. And we start with a story. As someone who was born in the late 80s, I was not of an age to really get swept up with the hype of the original Star Wars trilogy, and therefore it kind of passed me by. That's not to say that I didn't like it. In fact, I used to love going on the Star Wars ride at Disney, where R2-D2 and C-3PO animatronics guide you through a battle against the Empire. But the thing is, I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched the movies. Don't get me wrong, they were on TV all the time, so I've definitely seen parts of them countless times, and I've probably seen enough to have seen most of them. But honestly, I don't think I've ever seen any of the original trilogy all the way through in one sitting. But also, being about 12 years old when Star Wars Episode 1 came out meant that I was the perfect target audience at that time for that movie, just as everyone who grew up loving the original trilogy was the perfect age to hate it. I never saw that film in the cinema, but I do remember very vividly going to lunch with my mum and dad in a Little Chef. Little Chefs are essentially roadside diners that aren't really a thing anymore. They might still exist, but you don't really see them. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that that particular day they were running a charity raffle, and on the table were various prizes available. And I remember saying, well, the only thing that I'd really be interested in is the Phantom Menace video. And sure enough, after buying a ticket and pulling the lucky number, I became the very happy owner of Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace on VHS. Stop typing in the comments section, I can hear you already. Now you have to understand, as a 12-year-old, I loved it. I liked the idea that we were seeing a young Darth Vader. I thought Darth Maul was terrifying, but his double-ended lightsaber was amazing. I love Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson. I thought the fight scenes were great. The space battles were good. The land battle was goofy but enjoyable. I loved the concept of pod racing, and I mean, I even liked Jar Jar Binks. Stop typing. All of the more boring stuff in between, I was able to just gloss over. The highlights of the film were the things that were reinforced to me, like the awesome Star Wars pod racing game on N64. Admittedly, I tried watching this again recently, and there are things that don't sit quite so well with me anymore, but let's not get too bogged down with that. When it comes to episodes 2 and 3, I wasn't to be fooled. The trailers did little to excite me, so I never watched them. I've since watched clips of them, so I get the gist, but I don't have much interest in watching them. But again, I have seen some of the major scenes, I just never sat down and watched them in full. The thing is though, when Disney started to announce the new Star Wars films, I was a little torn, because as far as I could tell, they looked good, but much like when there's a really successful TV show that your friends keep telling you that you need to watch, only to find out that it's already in season 7 and you'll never catch up in time, I didn't see those films either, nor have I seen The Mandalorian or any of the spin-off movies or the animated movies either. Because this is the weird situation I've found myself in. I do actually like Star Wars. I like the world, I like the characters, I love the concept of lightsabers. I mean, who doesn't? I like the ride that we used to go on, I like the video games. The N64 in particular had multiple good ones. And when it comes to the films, I like everything I've seen of them. Hell, I've even got a framed and signed Boba Fett Lego figure that my sister and brother-in-law got me for Christmas one year. But I feel a bit of a fraud because I've still never watched any of them all the way through. Other than episode 1, that is. Seriously, stop typing. But honestly, where do I start? There's constant talk about the original version, the 8mm version, the Laserdisc version, the VHS version, the DVD version, the Blu-ray version, all of which are apparently different. So, here's where we are. As far as I can tell from the research that I've done, The most accurate version to the originals, and as such the version that is considered to be the most in the true spirit of it, are something called the despecialized editions, which aim to produce an HD version of the first trilogy, without any of the revisions or CGI that had been made over the decades. As such, Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, or I guess just simply Star Wars, will be the subject of this month's Watch Party on Discord. If you're unfamiliar with Watch Party, it's a perk of the Batcave tier on Patreon and YouTube memberships. Each month we have a hangout together, which sometimes includes a collective movie night where we grab some popcorn and watch a film as a group. So if you'd like to be along with me as I finally watch the original Star Wars from start to finish, then join us in the Batcave and I will see you later this month.